Some mornings you wake up steady and clear, like the whole day fits in your hands. Coffee tastes right. Music lines up with your breath. And then a small thing tilts the floor. A glance that lands wrong. A headline that hooks your stomach. A memory that drags a shadow across your chest. Nothing huge, but enough to make your inner weather flip from bright to stormy. If you've ever felt your best self slide into the back seat while a stranger grabs the wheel, you're not alone. That gap between how you want to live and how you actually respond in the moment is the space negative emotions use to drain your strength. The good news is you can learn to close that gap, not by faking positivity, but by understanding the engine room and taking the controls back. I'm Mark Roach. Welcome to Transcendent, my independent platform where I film and feel the words as I read them because I want you to feel them with me. My perspective can be uncomfortable. It was shaped by a twisted journey across places and people that most people would call highs and lows, but my life has been a research lab. I studied with mystics and healers. I've learned in business and in athletics, been with people that you'd recognize and you read about in the headlines. And I started speaking to people with PTSD and complex PTSD here because that was the only way I could breathe again. But over time, I learned that there was something obvious and human. Pain visits everyone. Sometimes it announces itself, sometimes it hides behind success until the chapter ends, and then you see the bill. So this space is for everyone and anyone who's tired of old patterns being handed down like family furniture. Anyone who wants to find their uniqueness and reconnect with their spirit, protect the part of you that no algorithm can copy and that never bows to force, violence, or domination. Let's get clear about negative emotions, not in a moral way, but in a practical way. Think of your energy as fuel. You need it to think, connect, create, hold your own shape in the world. Negative emotions are leaks. Anger, resentment, jealousy, dread, shame, panic. Some arrive like waves, others like fog. You cannot live without feeling. You would not want to. Feeling is how meaning moves. And when certain states take over, they narrow your choices, they blind your view, and they drain your reserves. You lose presence. You make promises you can't keep or avoid moves you need to make. By evening, you're tired and you don't know why. Well, there's a common myth that growth means you will stop feeling negative states. It sells, but it's not true. Growth means you notice sooner, you identify less, and you return faster, and the storms do less damage. That's the aim, not purity, not perfection, agency. Start with identification. Identification means you become the state. You don't just feel anger, you are anger. You don't just feel envy, you are envy. Your whole body and story contract to fit one mood. Identification is sticky. If it feels righteous and true in the moment, well, there's a moment most people miss because it's so small. A breath between impulses where the room gets a shade quieter and you can feel the choice open. One version of you wants to fix it fast. Another wants to disappear. A third stands back and watches, taking notes, and it can feel like you're walking into a meeting that's already underway inside your own chest. That meeting is your interior life. All of it is you. None of it is the whole story. This isn't just mood. You wake clear, almost light, and by lunch, your jaw is tight and your voice short. By evening, you soften and apologize, or you double down and hide. Watch closely and you'll notice the handoff. Your shoulders shift, your breath changes, your phrases get longer or they snap in a tense exchange. Diplomat speaks first and smooths things over, but one stray comment wakes the prosecutor and the questions sharpen. Later, the historian replays the scene, trying to make sense of it. Nothing is wrong with you. This is just how a healthy nervous system adapts to a moving world. Growing up it trained you to simplify, to be consistent, pick a lane, declare a brand. But humans aren't built like that. Kids know this. They shapeshift as needed. Builder, explorer, peacemaker, sometimes all before lunch. The goal in adulthood isn't to kill that flexibility, it's to steward it. Think orchestra, not soloist. The conductor cues what the moment needs. Brass for courage, strings for tenderness, percussion for a reset. Harmony isn't sameness, it's precise timing and honest listening. Some of the parts that lead have been with you since the beginning. Pleaser learned to keep you safe by avoiding conflict. The perfectionist tried to earn protection by making things spotless. Invisible learned that going quiet meant fewer hits. Those parts aren't villains, they're loyal workers who learned old rules. They deserve gratitude and retraining, not exile. Others want to expand your range. The learner loves uncertainty. Builder trusts plans. The artist invites risk and joy. Under chronic stress, a fighter can crowd the stage. And then it looks like you've lost yourself. In reality, you're just overbooked with one job running 24/7. Start simple. Catch 3 switches today. Don't analyze. Just name them as they pass. Judge got loud. Tender showed up. Organizer took the wheel. That's the whole practice at first. Notice and name. Skill grows with repetition. Naming makes space. Space creates choice. Before anything important, invite the I that you need. Head into a feedback session. Well, ask steady to hold posture, while curious, ask questions. Finishing a plan. Well, hand the last pass to the critic. Then time box it. This isn't performance, it's self-leadership. You're organizing your own team. Expect resistance. The controller will cling to the wheel because control felt like safety for so long. Thank it for keeping you alive. Then offer it a smaller job. Let it outline landmines before a meeting and then ask it to sit at the wall while the diplomat speaks. Fear loosens when it's given a role. Also expect absences. Playful, well, it left when you got too serious. Brave retreated after punishment. To bring them back, build micro rooms where they can breathe. 10 minutes with a pen and a timer, a block of music and no outcome. One honest boundary spoken early. Under the right conditions, neglected parts return fast. Context is a powerful switch. With your team, mentor is natural. With your family, child shows up before you finish your first sentence. Old rooms coax old roles. Don't shame yourself for this. Instead, keep the watcher awake. Adjust in real time if you fall into a role that you've outgrown. And don't make it a story about failure. Make it a cue to switch. Shame thrives where you can't see the handoffs. You promise yourself a calm response and then blow up. Instead asking of, what's wrong with me? Ask, who just ran things? Abandoned took the mic. Defensive protected an old injury. Identifying the part doesn't erase responsibility. It removes cruelty and creates a path to repair. Call the overall aim integration, not a permanent merger, not one part conquering the rest. Integration means inclusion and coordination. You hear each voice, you choose sequencing, you refuse tyranny from any one part, even the ones that you praise. Over time, you'll become more reliable to yourself because your system knows the conductor is present. Picture a day built on this. Morning, alarmed with wakes and a spike, but organized, writes the first 3 tasks and starts the coffee. Midday, after a hot email, defensive jumps up, but curious types the first sentence and asks for clarity. Late afternoon, numb tries to scroll, but restorative walks outside for 5 minutes. And at night, regret tries to hold court. Observer names it, and kindness writes a brief note to someone you were short with. That's not a perfect day, it's a day of credible leadership. Arguments are caste collisions. Your fixer meets their autonomy and sparks fly. The topic, dishes, money, tone, changes, but the pattern stays. When you feel the escalation, freeze the frame. Say what you see without blame. That was defensive. I'm going to take 10 seconds if the context allows. Share it out loud. If it doesn't, say it to yourself and shift your weight. Lower your voice. Slow your words. That physical reset gives observer just enough time to sit down again. At work, most teams burn out because one part becomes the culture. Hustle runs all year and every problem is a sprint, or caution rules everything and waits for more information. Healthy teams rotate. Vision launches, builder plans, focus executes, listener debriefs, and learner integrates mistakes. If you're leading, model the rotation. Today, I'm bringing focus. If you hear panic in my tone, flag me. That one line can cut group anxiety in half. When your workplace confuses urgency with importance, protect your cast with structure. Block time for different parts. 2 hours for builder, 30 minutes for communicator, 15 for critic. At the end, if your schedule is chaotic, do micro blocks. Even 10 minutes of pure builder beats a day of constant switching. The brain pays a heavy tax for context shifts. Protecting deep work is mercy, not a luxury. Power dynamics demand careful pairing. Advocate names the truth. Diplomat shapes the delivery. If fear wants to cancel the meeting, give it a job. Let it list landmines. Write them down. Thank it. Let the floor under your feet. Feel the floor under your feet, and let the advocate and diplomat carry one clear sentence into the room. Recovery isn't scrolling. It's the part that returns to you, and it returns the baseline. Breathe, walk, water, a song in your chest. Recovery needs a calendar slot. Put it beside the meeting, and that drains you. If critic says recovery is indulgent, notice who's speaking. Thank it for valuing standards. Take the break away. Sustainability is the only strategy that works long term. Purpose doesn't silence your part. It orchestrates them. Meaning shows up when the right I leads at the right time. Make a simple log. When you feel yourself most today, well, ask yourself, who led? And over weeks, you'll see patterns emerge. Service might become the listener. Build with the builder, teach with the connector. The map you draw from these different components of yourself, from these moments, acting from these moments will be more honest than any slogan on your wall. If you need momentum, try a short relay. Day one, notice and name. Day two, negotiate with one loud part. Day three, notice who leads one task that you care about. Day four, repair one thing that yesterday's choice damaged. Day five, invite a neglectful part for a turn. Day six, ask someone you trust how you show up. Day seven, rest. And then repeat. Small, consistent cycles beat heroic bursts. When shame spikes, run a tight script. Name it. Normalize it. Every human has many parts. Narrow it. What is it really about today? Shame loves to make everything forever. Narrowing keeps it local and workable. If trauma crowds your cast and the observer vanishes fast, build safety first. Predictable mornings. Well, food at steady times, a short list of people who answer. Ground through simple tasks. Train micro wins. One boundary you speak early. One apology offered quickly. 1 minute of breath where your feet feel like anchors. Your system learns that internal change is not always danger. Spiritual practice can hold the whole room. You do not need perfect calm to sit. Let the voices rotate through. Restless, hopeful, skeptical. Speak from each part over time. Pray in their words. If you use breath, keep it simple. In for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 6. And then repeat it 5 times. The aim is not purity, it's contact with the part that can pause. Creativity needs doors. Door 1 is messy. The artist leads. Play. Make marks. No editing. Door 2 is refine. Editor trims. Choose. If critic tries to enter the messy room, escort it to the hall with a promise. Your turn is in 10 minutes. This train switching without self-harm. Technology amplifies the loudest parts. Performer loves applause. Outrage loves heat. The crash after post is real. Before you engage, name who wants to speak. Why? How long? If it's validation, seeking, give it a safer place to be seen, a private note to a friend, a journal. If it's advocate, write the kindest version of your point that still tells the truth and consider the consequences before you press send. Family's a laboratory for roles that you didn't choose. Old houses, old smells, old expectations. Your nervous system, time travels fast. Preload your presence. Write 3 lines before you walk into that room. What will I allow? What will I decline? How will I exit if needed? Practice saying them softly in the car. Quiet words spoken early beat loud words spoken late. Friendships are where you can rehearse kinder moves. Do you have space? Name the support you want. Listen, ideas, or just company. Well, you're not making it transactional. You're naming the I. You're inviting in both of you. Transparency builds trust and shrinks resentment. Some seasons make noise in your system: grief, illness, betrayal, sudden success. In those times, your cast might look unfamiliar. Survivor wakes first, vigilant stands in the kitchen, numb stares at the wall at 3 a.m. In these chapters, excellence is gentle continuity. 3 check-ins a day. Who's here? What do they need? What is one kind step I can take? That might be a shower, a text, a walk to the corner. You do not build cathedrals in these chapters. You hold the roof on and let the storm pass. Outside help is not a failure of leadership. Sometimes you need a second conductor to help steady your hands. Therapy is a room where someone with a practiced eye helps you name the cast and pace the rehearsal. Good mentors do this too. They aren't fixing you. They're helping your observer stand up and say, stay, sit with it, watch, wait, see what happens. Use everyday moments to train. You're cut off in traffic. Well, rage grabs the mic. Boundary takes one breath and returns your grip to the wheel. Advocate says the sentence you need without a horn. Or you get overlooked at work. Well, defeated slumps. The next day, advocate writes a clear note with facts. Diplomat polishes tone and send it. The timing matters. So does self-respect. Close your weeks with a small practice. Name 5 parts that visited you most. Write their jobs. Thank them for what they tried to do. Then set one boundary for next week. Protector, we don't take meetings after 6. Critic, you get 15 minutes on Fridays, not every hour. This kind of expectation setting calms crisis and signals neglected parts that their turn is coming, but do not aim for perfect control. Aim for stewardship. You will miss cues. You will run old scripts sometimes, and when you do, log the data, repair what's yours, and adjust the plan. Gentle correction works faster than shame. Systems change when they feel safe enough to experiment. Your originality lives in the pattern, not in a single face. No model, algorithm, or authority can cope or copy the way that your parts play together when you are honest. That pattern is your signature. It's messy, surprising, often beautiful. The goal isn't to sterilize the music, it's to keep the conductor awake enough to let the right section play. Keep a few images close, not one leader, but a council. Not chaos, but a conversation. Not perfection, but the willingness to come back. When something tilts, don't call it failure, call it feedback. Ask who is needed now, and then act from that part for one step. Bring this into your mornings before you touch your phone. Sit on the edge of the bed and speak 3 words for how you intend to move. Calm, clear, kind. These are not slogans, they're cues. Touch the words again before the first meeting. After the meeting, then jot down what worked and what didn't. Honesty builds trust inside your system. Trust builds speed without panic. If you like frameworks, make a weekly map. Monday is builder heavy. Tuesday is listener and an advocate. Wednesday is focus and playful. Thursday is diplomat. Friday is editor and celebration. Saturday is restorative first. Sunday is reflector. The map will shift because life does. But beginning with intention keeps you from handling the whole week or handing the whole week to hustle and avoider. When you teach, lead, parent, or coach, narrate this out loud, not to perform, but to normalize. That was defensive. Give me 10 seconds. Or, I want to bring listener in now. People learn faster when they see presence modeled without drama. You erase shame by bringing witness into daylight. Take care of your body's role in all this. Self-leadership is embodied. Notice micro signals, like a tongue pressed to the roof of your mouth means push. Jaw clamps mean control. Toes curled mean fear. When you catch a cue, change something small. Unclench your jaw, lower your shoulders, broaden your gaze. The brain reads posture. When you shift posture, the cast calms down. Build anchors that you can use anywhere. Thumb and forefinger presses for 3 seconds. One hand on your chest, 2 breaths. First, breathe, and then name the sensation. Second, breathe, name the intention. This is enough to create a gap between the choice before it returns. Don't chase magic. Chase repeatability. Make room for play, and that doesn't serve an outcome. Play resets the cast. It lets artist and child remind the system that not everything is a test. Throwing a ball against the wall for 5 minutes, like doodle badly, learn a chord, bake something imperfect. The nervous system loves novelty without stakes. It buffers stress better than most hacks. If you track anything, track returns. When did you notice a switch and steer differently? That record proves that your own nervous system, to the conductor, is real. When doubt arrives, and it will, you can point back at evidence. I led here. I repeated there. I invited playful back. This is how trust accumulates. When fear tells you you're late, it's lying. You're not late. You're arriving into a different way of operating, less by force, more by coordination. It will look boring from the outside. No grand speeches, no heroic vows, just visible steadiness. People will feel it before they can name it. You will feel it most in the space between moments where choice begins. If you need a single sentence to carry into the day, try this. At the moment of contact, I will choose who leads. Contact is the email, the face, the tone, the memory, the news. Choose means that you take one breath and let the right part step forward, not the fastest, not forever. Lead means for this step, and it doesn't mean forever. That's enough to change the arc of the conversation, projects, and relationships over time. This is how complexity becomes a resource, how confusion turns toward creativity, how old patterns stop dictating your next move. You are not a solitary instrument. You are the whole band and the one who knows when to change the tune. Keep your cues simple. Keep your promises small. Keep returning. That's the practice. When you forget, and you will, don't start a trial. Start again. Recognize, repair, rehearse. Recognize who led. Repair what needs it, inside or out. Rehearse the next move once in your mind and once out loud, and then re-enter your day. The system learns from repetition without drama. And over months, you will notice you're less brittle in hard rooms. You'll interrupt fewer cycles you regret. You'll speak sooner and more gently. You'll feel less pulled by old loyalties that don't match your life now. The cast doesn't shrink, it matures. The conductor doesn't dominate, it listens, selects, and guides. That's enough. If a part wants the last word here, let it be kindness towards the versions of you that you keep alive, toward the ones that you want to grow, toward the people who don't know how to name any of this yet. Kindness isn't softness, it's precision without cruelty. Bring that kind of precision to the next conversation, the next plan, the next pause. Watch what changes. Some nights the house feels full, even when you're alone. You can hear a chorus under the quiet. One voice wants to write the message you've been avoiding. Another wants to turn off every light and disappear. A third suggests tea and a slow walk through the hallway just to feel the floor. None of them are wrong. They're just signals. They're your interior asking for the kind of leadership that doesn't crush or perform, but listens and chooses. I'm Mark Roach, and this is Transcendent, wishing you all the best.